Senior BJP leader and former governor of Manipur, Najma Heptulla, has written a book. It is about her own journey in politics. She is joining us live here on NDTV. Ms. Heptulla, thank you so much for your time here on NDTV. As someone who has worked for the Congress leadership and also for the BJP, how has the journey been, and how do you look at the leadership in the two parties, also, of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and here of Mr. Vajpayee and Prime Minister Modi? You have worked with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. You also worked under Prime Minister Modi as Minority Affairs Minister. Under Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, you were a senior party functionary as well. In terms of the leadership style of the Congress party, leadership style of the senior leaders of the BJP, what is the difference really?
I think Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a very nice person. He was a very decent and down-to-earth person. As a prime minister, or even when he was not the prime minister, I knew him. I used to go to meet him to learn a lot of politics from him. And you ask about whom? Narasimha Rao, Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Modi. Up to Mrs. Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, to some extent. Rajiv Gandhi was a very charming, very good person, very good-hearted. That's why I think people misused him. But he was a great person. And of course, Indira Gandhi, after she lost in 1977 and came back again, she was a very different person. I've written in the book also. She changed. She became tough and she dealt with everybody with a very strong hand. So this was the difference. But then after Rajiv Gandhi, when Sonia ji came, she was cut off from the ground realities and the leaders in the various part of the country who were working and the workers. Because of her staff, or I don't know what is the reason.
Ms. Heptulla, you moved to the BJP in 2004. This transition from one ideology to another, from the Congress to the BJP, this transition, how has it been? What was the reason? What were the circumstances? That transition, of course, happened to the BJP at a time when the BJP was not in power. UPA tenure was there. Could you explain the reasons behind this shift?
Yeah. BJP leadership, Atalji was a very, very nice person. I moved to BJP when he was not in power. I did not go for power. I just went on the other side when they lost the election. And then when Mr. Modi came, he took me into the cabinet. I knew Mr. Narendra Modi for a long time when he was in Gujarat and the riots took place in Godhra. I talked to him about the Bora community. They are very peace-loving people. My husband was a Bori, and he protected them. So when he told me to become the minority minister, I took over. And he never interfered in my work. I did what I wanted to do. You see, I left because when you lose the trust of your leader, when Sonia Gandhi started doubting me, and she kept on telling me that I'll go to join Sharad Pawar and I will leave. And I told her, you have seen me when Indira Gandhi was out of power, I remained. though I was not even a member of parliament. So this was the difference. And the other thing was that there was no question of that kind of an ideology. And I wanted people to know that there is an alternative for minorities. They can join. If you shun a party and say, no, they are not good to us, they will not bother for you. But if you join, you help, you may be able to make them understand what you are. And that is what Modi's slogan was, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas.
And ma'am, it's often said that women in politics have it very, very difficult because this is largely a male bastion or a dominated space. You worked with a woman leader in Sonia Gandhi. Many would say that would have given you a great degree of comfort as well. What was the equation between you and Mrs. Gandhi, and when did it all go wrong and why?
I don't know. I wish you could share it with me, what you wanted me to do, or anything which was wrong in it. So, if she had shared it with me, perhaps I would have followed her. She did not even talk to me. I wrote in the book, it was difficult. I was waiting for 1 hour from Berlin to talk to her. You can imagine, I would be sitting out like Kesri, and so how can you communicate the person and how she will tell me? And the trust is the most important thing. She didn't trust anybody. You remember you were there in the receptions I used to give to women at my house at Akbar Road, where Sonia Gandhi came for the first time. I introduced her to the people, to the journalists, to everybody, to make her comfortable with people. But it didn't work. Still, I don't know what she wanted me to do. I have no idea because she never told me what to do. And that kind of a job I have, Maria, I had to take the house into confidence. I had to have the trust of the political leadership of every party, whether it is Communist, BJP, Janta Dal, individual leaders, political leaders. So I had to do that to run the house.
Ms. Heptulla, you're making some very interesting observations on the running of the House in particular, because you served as the, uh, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha as well. In your autobiography, and this book, of course, is coming at a time when opposition MPs had moved a no confidence motion against the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Mr. Dhankar. It was seen as unprecedented, never seen before in the long history of the Rajya Sabha. Of course, it was dismissed, but as someone who saw that functioning of that house, do you think the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, which is supposed to be a bipartisan chair, could have handled it differently? And how important it is to for the chair to appear to be bipartisan as well?
Maria, it was not no confidence. It was that Shankar Dayal Sharma was presiding. Well, I knew Shankar Dayal Sharma since I was a child because he studied with my father. So I used to call him uncle, but not in the house, but at home. And we were very close, family friends. Then one day, the house was so rowdy that his old man started frustrated and cried. He wept literally. And then I was sitting comfortably in my room, as you know. Then the watch and word chap came and said, money came. I remember. He said, Chairman Sahab, ro rahe hain. I said, what? He said, yes, there's so much trouble that he's crying. So I went to the chair and took over. I handled everything. And then next day, K.K. Tiwari said that he is a buffoon to Shankar Dayal Sharma. Then it became again an issue. And Yashwant Sinha and other people, they all objected to it. That how can he call the chairman and the vice president a buffoon? So he should be reprimanded. And they moved a privilege motion and brought it to the House. Now, I was chairman of the privilege committee. K.K. Tiwari was a friend. I was in a fix how to do it. So I converted the entire House in a privilege committee. And I said that I'm capable to take care of the privilege of the members of parliament. But I don't think I am competent enough to protect the privilege of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha and the vice president of the country. So I convert this house into a privilege committee, and you all decide what action you take. So they all said that he should be reprimanded and he should come before the parliament and the bar of the house. So KK went to court. Court rejected him, Supreme Court or High Court. They said it's a matter of the parliament, let them decide. We don't interfere into political and the parliamentary thing. Because in our country, there are different areas: parliament, government, and judiciary. So Rajiv Gandhi told him, go back and face the parliament. And that I must say, Rajiv Gandhi was very straightforward. He came, KK came to the bar, and a simple reprimand was given to him that you have to be reprimanded for the misdemeanor you did to the president, vice president, and the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and that's all. So that was the issue about. It was not a privilege against chairman, it was a privilege against motion against KK.
Ma'am, you were the governor of Manipur before you quit politics. What's your take on the Manipur violence, and what's the solution? And also the question that I wish to ask, and perhaps it's on everybody's mind, how is your retired life going?
This mala is from Manipur. There was a lady who was working, she was selling vegetables. Her name was Bim Bim, and she used to make these malas in the evening. And I saw the malas, I liked them very much, and I bought so many, and I introduced her to many people. All my guests who came to meet me from rest of India buy, so that she became an entrepreneur and she started a business. I invited her to Delhi also. She sold in the Khan market somewhere. So she became, and that was a good experience. That's the work I was doing in Manipur. And I enjoyed it because Manipur was in turbulence when I became the deputy chairman. The governor. I brought the people, made them to sit together, talk to them, brought peace over there. And then in Manipur, that was the time when President came, the Prime Minister came for the Indian Science Congress. Peace was so much that the Prime Minister could come, and 2,000 delegates came for the Indian Science Congress session. Then the Vice President Venkaiah came for a women's meeting, and all the leaders who wanted to come to Manipur, they came, they traveled, they saw the beautiful state, and there was peace. So that was my job over there. And then now when I see there is so much fighting going on over there, I feel sad. There's no governor, there's nobody. I think again they should use the same formula. They should ask them to sit across the table and solve the issue. Why there is violence? Why can't they be friends and focus on development? That's what. And then I decided I have done too much. I was tired and I was missing my children, my grandchildren. They are growing. And my grandchildren will miss this opportunity to be with grandma. Though they visited Manipur, all of them, but still. And I said, enough in life, enough politics. I came here and living in, now I am in Chicago. Sometime I go to New York where my eldest daughter is. She's a doctor. And here my youngest daughter forced me and encouraged me to write this book.
Najma Heptulla, pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for joining us.